Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 here, and we'll kind of do this via video this week for you guys as requested. Finished off last week very bullish. You can see this momentum candle moving up here, closing green, carried through and followed through the following week, and now we're starting to build this week right through here. You can see on the daily 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish days here, another one on Thursday, and then Friday had that fake out breakout, and then that retrace of the about a 30% retrace of the week here on the daily. So let's go through here and build some levels for this week. I cleared out all my levels except for the basic psychological levels here on the 5350, 5300, 5250, so on and so forth, all the way down to 5000. Okay, so let's go into the daily here and dig into this one a little bit and see what kind of levels we can come up with. We've got the first thing that stands out to me are a couple of volume gaps right through here, a couple of imbalances on those levels that I want to pay attention to for this coming week for the potential downside moves. This one's been dug into, hasn't really rolled back into it fully yet. All right, so that's the first thing that catches my eye on this bull run up here, and then we want to obviously put in our prior day high. And our prior day low. Okay. And so then let's run. You got a couple of swing highs here we want to notate right there, 5285. And we'll just call these structure levels to the upside. Okay. And we've got 5275, little swing here. These ones here, we're already kind of in them, so we've already reached those. We got one right here. We've got this right here that almost perfectly coincides with prior day high at 64. All right, so all of these that will be unlabeled here will be just market structure levels. All right, so that pretty much gets us covered through the upside here. There's probably a couple more in here that we'll dig into as we drill into our 30-minute volume profile. There's bound to be a couple more up here, but we'll get into that here in a second. Okay, so on the downside, there really isn't a whole lot of swing lows, of open swing lows, open swing highs that aren't already kind of covered. Okay, so we'll get out of the daily and we'll dig into our our 30-minute volume profile here, and I want to switch this up. This is a daily profile that I typically run on here. At the beginning of the week, I like to open it up with the weekly. So we'll get rid of this, hide that, and we'll do a weekly volume profile, which is it's both a market profile and a volume profile. They're almost the same thing. They're a little bit different. It's a lesson for another time, but I just like to mark off the major levels going into the week, especially to that downside, the open untested right here. POC, I want to know that level from last week. Prior POC, where are we at? Right there. Okay, it's a prior week POC. And then I also want to do the prior value area, which is right here. Value area low. And the value area high is way up here. Yeah, I'll put that on there as well. Okay, so I want to know those three levels. The weekly low, I want to know that as well. And then the weekly high as well. So these levels down here, this is from 2 weeks ago, but they're open. They're untested down here. So I want to know all that. I'm going to do the same thing and match them up here as well from last week. And I'm going to do this one right here. Okay, so that coincides right here. So I don't need that. I don't need that level on there. That's the same as this daily imbalance low. So we're good on that front. All right, and then we're going to do this exact same thing here. Okay, so now I'm going to know, as price is opening up this week, I'm going to know when price dips back down into last week's value area, when we break back into the prior day high, this gap down here, this last week's POC right in here. I'm going to want to know all these numbers, these levels right here, as or if price makes a rotation to the downside. I've got plenty of levels to play on the downside of the weeklies. Okay, so that should cover us all the way down to 49.62. And then we can get into some of the intricacies, within here to the downside as well. So we do have this little bit of a thin print or a volume gap right through here. That I will mark off. And I'll usually mark this off in pink. And that's going to do it for the weekly. I don't really know that I've got anything else that I can really mark off on the weekly volume. So now I'm going to go to the daily session, the daily volume profile. All right, so now you can see all of the daily profiles on here from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and this morning, this run up that we've had. And now for the immediate for today, what I'm looking for is a play off of this profile here that's developing. We've got prior day high. We've got a little bit of market structure up top here. Big rejection candle off that 9:30 or 9 a.m. open, or that push down here. So I want to know when yesterday's or Friday's POC breaks, that will push us out of the value area being built overnight. You want to know when that overnight low breaks this value area, prior day low, and same thing to the upside. So you got some few levels to play with here to begin with. And then as price does what it's going to do today, price is either going to break out of here, or we're going to break out of this little structure, this overnight, and then pursue these levels down here. You got this open POC back here, you got this open value area low down here, and you can kind of play them all the way to the downside. And there you have it. That's how you frame up your week on an early Monday morning for the S&P 500. Set your levels to the upside and the downside, starting from a weekly candle view, breaking all the way down to a daily volume profile on a 30-minute chart. For more on volume profiling, check out my series on volume profiling from the basics to advanced techniques by subscribing to the link in the video description below. And for the day-to-day S&P narrative, subscribe to my Substack for detailed analysis delivered to your inbox every day for free.